Yeah, it's an honor. Anytime you're appointed into a leadership role, I think it's an honor to be in that spot. I don't take it lightly. I know it's a responsibility, and I'm at the end of the day, I'm grateful for my teammates voting me as a captain. I think it puts responsibility on myself to hold myself to a standard, but to also speak up when I see the standard not being met, and hold others to that standard too.
Is that a role that you were immediately comfortable with last year when you became a captain? Because I know that can be at times uncomfortable, awkward, when you have to speak up.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a learning process. I wouldn't say I was comfortable from the beginning. Honestly, it's tough. You're friends with a lot of guys, and at the end of the day, that's what makes it effective. I think, in my opinion, I've got relationships with these guys outside of football, so if I have to say something or if they say something to me, it's never personal. It's always trying to get the best out of them and get the best out of me.
Hey, Terrell, Sean has talked about how the defense is going to rely on some young guys at times this year. We'll see what happens with the guys ahead of him. But Dorian Strong is potentially one of them this week. How have you seen him sort of develop throughout camp here and now into week one?
Yeah, I think the first thing that jumps off is just his mindset, and how intentional he is with every day. He comes in and goes to work, and that's something that I really respect. I know how hard it is, for a young guy to come in here and play and contribute, and to rise to the standard that's been set here. So I can't say enough good things about him. We all have confidence and faith in him, and he's shown that he can come out here and be a really good player. And it's just consistency day in and day out of doing your job, doing what you're supposed to do, being in the right spot every single snap, every single play, every single day. And he's shown that. So, I'm excited to watch him and, see him grow throughout this year.
Well, what are your recollections of that playoff game against Baltimore here, including the big punch out of the ball on Mark Andrews?
Yeah, it was a great game. We know they're a great team, physical. Obviously they got a bunch of playmakers, in their skill positions, and then they're really good up front too. So they're a really well-rounded offense. They get the ball to a lot of different guys, and they got after us the first game, honestly. So we know what this game's going to be. We know the mindset that we have to have coming into this game, and at the end of the day, it's week one. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. We're excited to get ready and to go out there and play against another great team.
What about the punch out? I mean, it literally set up the game winning points.
Yeah, I mean, it was a play that kind of had to be made at that point. But at the end of the day, it's a full team effort, and it's a long game. There's a lot of ebbs and flows within the game. So it goes back to our philosophy of stopping the run and then taking the ball away when the opportunity presents itself.
So you guys, the last couple of years in season openers have been a little bit up and down. It's kind of an unusual week to prepare for because you had such a long layoff. But what have you noticed about team performance specifically in season openers, and what do you have to do to maybe get off to a bit better of a start in these types of games?
Yeah, I think what Sean talks about a lot is these first four games are really decided by fundamentals and execution, and taking the ball away and taking care of the ball. So that's really been our focus and our mindset. Like you said, this is the first time that we're going to be out there for a full 60 minutes together, in Highmark Stadium with the fans, with the crowd noise and all that stuff. So communication is going to be of the utmost importance, along with the things that I stated earlier.
Well, Sean said that it's a unique experience to face Lamar and Derrick Henry because of the size and speed of Bill. It's tough for a rookie to possibly adjust that because they haven't seen that in college. What do you remember about your first time facing these two guys? What wisdom can you share to the young guys who face those two for the first time?
Yeah, it's a dynamic offense. Obviously you got Lamar, who's a multiple time MVP, and you got Derrick Henry, who's been a Russian champion in this league for a long time. A guy that's physical, fast, can make you miss. And at the end of the day, it's really a couple of different styles of offenses that they can really get into. So that's the detail and kind of the communication that we're going to have throughout the week, and then leading into Sunday night is really understanding what type of offense we're playing. Whether it's going to be old school downhill run game, or they're going to spread you out and throw the ball around. I think that's what it comes down to, is understanding the opponent and understanding what type of offense you're going to get. Yeah, I think a lot of it just comes down to our execution. He's a great player. We know that. We know how explosive he can be, and they have a really good offensive line that he runs behind. But it's going to come down to our execution, guys getting off blocks and population to the ball. And we do that, we feel like we're going to be in a good spot. Come Sunday night. Yeah, I was excited. It's a great team. I said it multiple times. Anytime you get to go out and play, a dynamic offense like this, you get to test, and see, where you're at. Like I said earlier, the first time we played these guys last year, they came out and they embarrassed us, and we didn't play up to our standard. We didn't play, how we needed to play. I think we've learned from that, and we understand, what we need to do to put ourselves in a position to be successful. Yeah, he's a huge part of our defense. He's been that for years. I think his ability to really do everything well. He can blitz, he can cover, he can play in the run game well. I think that's what separates him is he's really good at a lot of different areas, and he's a dynamic playmaker for us. And then just as a leader, Matt doesn't say a lot. Outside of these walls, but when we're in here, he's one of the guys that's talking. He's setting the defense. He's doing things that are helping everybody else around him too. Yeah, everybody's excited. We know it's going to be a challenge, but to get out there in front of our fans Sunday night, we don't take it for granted to be in that moment and to have the opportunity to go out there and display what we've been working on, and the connection of the team, and everything that we've built over these last few months coming together as a team. So we're excited. We're taking it day by day right now, just within our process to get ready. But we're really excited to get out there and put on display what we've been working on.
Some games or whatever, but you're not playing at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
How do you handle it?
Yeah, for sure. It's a different schedule. I feel like we've played the last few years. We've played a lot of Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night games. So having that routine down of what you're doing in the mornings, the film you're watching, the studying you're doing, the rest you're taking before you get to that moment. I think that's kind of what we've fallen back on, is just our process of how we do things, and the way that we prepare for the game. So it's going to be another game for us. Nah, yeah, not really. I don't think it matters that it's week one. Any week we have the same schedule, we have the same process for how we're going about our business. So we'll stick to that and be ready to go. Yeah, I think so. I mean, any loss, you have to go back and really see what happened, where you were wrong, what we can get better at, especially if you're playing the team again. And I feel like we were able to do that. And even from the playoff game, there's areas where we have to improve, and we're going to need to improve. And coming from training camp, coming from OTAs, building that connection, that preparation leading into week one, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, I mean, we know, we know what it is. Like I said earlier, man, it's a great team coming in here. So we're gonna have to prepare and be ready, and go out there and play our best game. Appreciate you guys.
They're good. They're really good. They have a really good front. Best run-stopping front in the league. On the back end, they've invested a lot of first-round picks, on their DBs and safeties. I think everybody in their back end's a first-round pick. So they've got some absolute studs over there. Their third down package is really hard to stop. It's hard to see. Luckily we'll be at home and be able to communicate a little bit better than we were early on in the season last year. And obviously we played them in the playoffs, and we understand there's going to be a lot of heightened emotions on both sides. And, we're just trying to go out there and have a good week of practice, watch some third downs after this, and try to get the best game plan that we can together and try to go execute.
They're all talking like they've got a chip on their shoulder, rightfully so. So they've got natural motivation in that sense. What is the quiet motivation that might be your tough road?
It's an opportunity to go play a football game and do what we love. And it's a new team. We're both starting 0-0. Sunday night to start the season. I think that's enough motivation right there. But it's football. We have to go actually play against somebody, and show what we got.
Josh, the last 4 years, you guys are 2-2 in week 1 season openers. Had some uneven performances maybe in those games. Is there anything that you've maybe identified in looking back at those that has led to that, or anything that you could maybe try to shore up going into this year's season?
Yeah, I think the first and foremost thing, just trying to do too much and trying to, play hero ball maybe too early, and over the years, just finding out, like, let the game come to us, especially myself. Throwing checkdowns early and moving the sticks and just worrying about, the play at hand and not the entire drive. So, just looking forward to going out there and execute with my teammates.
Do you think a part of that could maybe just be adrenaline and the excitement of the season finally being there?
Part of it, yeah, I think so. I mean, there's always an added extra bit of juice every first game of the year. I'll be the first one in a minute. It doesn't matter who we're playing. It's just that first game. There's something special about it. It's the emotion that's in the entire stadium. Obviously, it's the last home opener here in this stadium, and I think fans are gonna feel that and give us the juice that we need to try to perform the best we can.
Josh, you guys are running back. But is it possible with the guys you had, you may even be better in Apple's and last year was great, but given who you added, is it possible you guys might be in a better unit this season?
Well, sure hope so. I think every year is our job to try to get better, and with adding Josh Palmer and Elijah Moore and still returning guys like Curtis, Khalil, and Keon, and having Dalton and Dawson in the passing game as well as our backs, we're just trying to do whatever we can to move the ball and get first downs and score touchdowns. And having that everybody eats mindset and having receivers block in the run game, having backs involved in the pass game, guys clearing things out for each other. It helps our team. It's fun as a quarterback to drop back and know that any one of my receivers could get the opportunity to catch this ball right here. So it makes my job easy when guys are, giving their all for each other. They love what they do and they care about what they do. So that's our goal. I mean, I think not just in the short and intermediate game, catch and run stuff. He's very shifty for a big guy, and I think, getting him involved more maybe in the deep passing game and allowing him to use his size and utilize why we drafted him, a couple of years ago. I think he's as talented as any tight end in the league, and I got to be better for him and allow him to utilize those talents. Yeah, just try to get hit early on. And that used to be part of my deal. It was like, my first couple of years, I'd ask for a quarterback run early to try to get my pad set and feel like I'm back down to earth. But just trusting the game plan, trusting my feet, getting a good warm up, trying to keep the heart rate down, listening to what I listen to, and just focus on executing. It has in the past. It has in the past. I don't advise it anymore, but try not to get a hit at all. That's the name of the game, but sometimes it helps.
We're asking you about the premier quarterbacks. A lot of those have happened in the playoffs. In the regular season, it feels like it's a little different. But how much do you enjoy those premier matchups, those quarterback matchups?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a chance to go out there and to win. You got to play at your best. When you're going against another quarterback that's great, you talk about Lamar. He's one of the best players to touch the grass, honestly. And you can't give him more opportunities than he needs. You can't give him short fields. He'll take advantage of those. So being on the top of our game on the offensive side of the ball and doing everything that we can, and we don't play on the offensive side. We don't play the quarterback. We play the defense and the defensive coordinator, and just doing everything that we can to really help our defense out.
Josh, you mentioned your receivers earlier, and somewhat of a new group there. How have you seen Khalil kind of embrace the leadership role within that group?
Yeah, it's been awesome to see. I think he took a huge step last year, and his play speaks for itself. I'm not just talking about him catching the ball, but him going in and blocking, him going in and running to the ball, helping teammates up. That's infectious in that room. And when guys see, a guy like Khalil and the type of caliber of player that he is, be the type of teammate that he is, it pushes guys to do the same. Yeah, I mean, I trust him. His body language, it's so easy to read. He knows exactly what he's doing on every single play. There's no hesitation with him. And he's obviously with the ball in his hands, he's one of the best rat guys in the league. So the more touches that we can get him, the better. Yeah, taking completions early on, not forcing anything, holding on to the football, and trying to end every drive with a kick. That's as simple as that, and just letting the game come to us. TB, I mean, you watch him play, the way he communicates, the way that he puts his body on the line, the way he talks to his teammates, the way that he works. He's in the building damn near 24/7, working on his body, doing rehab, doing prehab, watching film while he's doing it. Just a true example for guys to learn from of how to be a true pro. His play speaks for itself.
Josh, with a guy like Khalil, it's so good running after the catch. I know you're going to go to the open guy, but does it really open things up for where on the field do you think I can get him the ball? You've seen the success he's had once he's had it in his hands.
For sure. I mean, I think the more opportunities we can get, really everyone, the better, but him especially, because, he's got a knack for finding a crease and being able to take it the distance and make guys miss. And he's fun to watch when he's got the ball in his hands, and he can do it all. I think having Jimbo back and working the way that he's worked, he looks fantastic. And I know he had a really good year last year, but feel very confident in his game right now and how hard he practices. And guys can feel him right now, and it's fun to watch.
How nice is it to part with some of that business stuff, interview stuff, to get the big one and be able to focus on things? How much enjoyment do you get, or can you cut it? I mean, I'm sure you cut it out with something.
Yeah, no, it's the best. It's all ball. I know that kind of I do everything outside and try to make sure that it's outside of football. So once we're in season, we can focus exactly on ball. And yes, that's just the day and age we're in now, and it is what it is. But I'm very happy to be back during football season. I'm a quarterback. Yeah, we're always on the next play and where our feet are right now. We don't focus on, or try not to focus on the last play. So that's try to live life in the here and now. Thank you, guys.
I was supposed to do your